I am very excited to say that I found another investment I like. I am excited long term for Dash. Looks good. The deeper I dug, the happier I became. So I'm going to go through everything I found, and I'm going to start with the first thing. At first, I did not expect to like Dash. I thought it was another boring coin. The first thing I looked at also, I found boring. I looking at transactions. Dash does 6,000 transactions a day. Bitcoin does 250,000 transactions a day. So that means Dash's transactions are about 2.5% of Bitcoin's. So it's a small, very small compared to Bitcoin. Now, what about the market cap? The market cap value of Dash is 3% of that of Bitcoin's. So in other words, just as a ratio of market cap to transactions, Dash looks expensive. So I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to find another coin I hate and trash it on my video and everyone gets mad at me. But then I shortly realized that number of transactions today doesn't matter because Dash's growth rate looks good, but it's deeper than that. So let me tell you the first thing that I'm excited about. Dash has come up with a business model that not only is awesome, I bet it's going to be copied eventually by other systems here. So what they do, first, just as most people know, with Bitcoin, when a miner performs its activities, does its mining, and logs the transaction, they get rewarded a whole Bitcoin. What Dash does is when a transaction is mined, 45% goes to the miner, 45% goes to these master nodes that perform these other features that I'll get into in a minute. And then 10% goes to a treasury. The treasury is used for, I think I've got it right somewhere. Did I not have that ready? No. Okay, so the treasury is used for several things. Basically, I forgot to put the note right in front of me here, but development and marketing. So compared to all these other projects where, they have a foundation, they try to raise money, or some coins will launch, they do an ICO, they have some money until that runs out, but they have an ongoing funding system. And the key to any of these systems developing is it's an ecosystem that feeds on itself. And Dash has that. By every time they do a transaction, it funds the organization, and then the organization is using those funds to grow the ecosystem, which creates more transactions, which funds the system more. This creates more value. The price of the coin goes up, which increases the value of the funding, and it goes around and around. It's a real, all of these systems sort of are these little ecosystems and are growing, and sometimes it's hard to really see it and understand it, but Dash is the most developed with a really, because the key in the long run, it's like this whole chicken and egg problem. What merchant wants to accept a currency that no consumers have, and what consumer is going to want to carry a currency that no merchants accept? And it's this chicken and egg system, but Dash is really working on that. So with this system, here's the link I wanted to show. Let's see what this is here. Oh shoot, I didn't mark let me see if I can find it.
So
okay, this is the project funding. That's not.
45% goes toward.
Okay, never mind. So, and then it gets even, I think, slightly even more exciting. I think this is brilliant. So one thing they do with the funding, they have money goes to marketing. And how much money, so let me just also mention, just to understand how much money we're talking about. This was a chart here, okay, in this video, okay. This shows how much money, annualized funding, Bitcoin, okay, so these are, you know what, I'm sorry that I don't have all of this easy to explain. There's so much info here on, but whatever these numbers are, the bottom line is Dash's funding is like 20x of what Bitcoin has, and that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise because that's one of the, all of these other systems, there is no funding. They're a foundation, it's a non-profit, and how do you get money? They're trying to get grants. they have a ton of money. So the other thing I was going to say that's super exciting is their funding for marketing. So now what they do is anybody can go and submit an idea for marketing. So let's say I said, oh, I have an idea. I can promote Dash by doing this and by doing that, and this is going to be great to promote Dash, or I'm going to integrate it in my company, or I'm going to, whatever it is, I submit the project. It gets voted on by the masternodes. If they like my project, they then say okay, and some of that money, the big pile of money they have, would go to me. I would get paid in Dash to fund my marketing idea. So they basically have a crowdsource marketing system. And it's really a truly decentralized, autonomous organization. I hear everybody talking about it, but I haven't really seen one operating. And not that that's the entire company, but the marketing system, I mean, to me, as someone who's done internet marketing for 20 years, I'm like, that's awesome. That is really going to create some creative ideas. It could be unwieldy and may do some crazy things, but it's just a great way to get the community. So you're getting the community involved to think about marketing ideas. When they come, then you have the community deciding which ideas are best. And then you have the community coin, the Dash, is using to fund these new ideas, which in your hopefully a good process to choose good ones. Then when you have a good one, if it works, it increases the value, and it's a circle. I think it's brilliant. Now, okay, so when I started seeing this is when I started getting excited. They never even did an ICO, and they're not going to. That's awesome. And between the legalities with ICO and then the ICO is sort of a one-time event. You raise money, you have it. They're ongoing. So, and this is different too. I was going to look up a little, the Tezos governance system. It's interesting with their programming and what they're trying to do with governance. But I remember when I read it, it was very convoluted and hard. And I understand that just because I can't understand it doesn't mean it's not great. In fact, the fact that I can't understand it could be a sign that it's great. But the Tezos thing, I was like, I don't know. This is easy to understand. I'm seeing money going to marketing. And that's another thing that's so important. With these coins, with any project that you're trying to have mass adoption, there has to be some marketing. I see some great ideas out there, but with no marketing, it looks hard. So I love that they have that. Now, and I like the people running it. It's a community of people. When I watch the videos, let's see this one here. Okay, we'll get to that. Is that this? Okay, this here. So I watched this. So there's this guy here who runs Dash Force News. They have their own news organization to get information out there. I watched this video. I'll put the link up. Let's just hear for 1 second.
So like 10x should be coming up. Oh, YRX. Yes. Yeah. Great example. So there should be a Dash branded 10x card coming out first. Because a lot of people don't realize this. Dash actually funded 10x first before they did the ICO, right? So I did
not know that.
Well, yeah, I was talking to Michael from Box Mining about it.
So yeah, that's another thing. I feel like I see Dash everywhere. Any cool, you can spend your money option out there. Dash is kind of in it, with 10x, which is it seems to be the leading card for being able to use it. There's also another card, which he mentioned in this video, this BitCart.io. Check this out. I'm like, maybe I should just do this. I mean, so at this BitCart, you can buy an Amazon gift card, and you get a 15% discount if you use Dash. So your Dash is spendable. I mean, you can spend it on Amazon, right? That has everything. And you get a 15% discount off of Amazon. This BitCart.io. So another great spending option. So now back to this video I was just showing you. So this guy here, again, it's like, I feel like Dash, the technology looks good, and I'll get to that in a minute, but there are people, if Ethereum are the kings of, super nerdy tech, guys. These guys are sort of marketing and cool and welcoming and fun, you know. So this guy, he struck me as cool. And by the way, I want to give props to Crypto here. He has a YouTube show. I was talking to him. He's the one who sort of was another push to research Dash. And then he has some great videos. This one, and there was just a convention in London like a week ago. I have those videos too here. I'm going to show you some of that. It's like 5 hours of video. You don't have to go to London to see the Dash convention. You can watch it all here on YouTube. I didn't finish all of it, but also super informative. So Crypto with his O, Crypto O is a 0, and he's got a lot of YouTube videos. But he's been doing this for a while. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so there was that video, which is great. I'll put the link in from the guy who runs Dash Force News. Dash Force News, so we'll show you that website. They've got a whole website here just with news. I was reading about these masternodes. They've got a Dash 101. They have a school. Tons of information. When you search on YouTube, there's just a lot of info out there. They make it easy because they have a marketing budget and they're using it to educate. And I think that's an important part if you're going to make, the adoption work. People have to understand and making it easier. So that's one of the things regarding making it easy. Okay, so I'm getting to that. Should I skip ahead? Okay, so this convention, let me show you what I have here on this. Okay, well, this is the thing about the platform. So now, this convention in London, if you're interested in Dash, I think you should watch. I skipped a little bit here and there, but these are the kind of things I talked about with the Waves video. I'm like, if you love an investment, you have to love the founder. You have to enjoy listening to them. When they have a convention, you're going to be like, oh, awesome, I can't wait to watch this. I enjoyed watching the Dash convention, and I want to watch the rest of it. I'm excited. The Waves convention and seeing Sasha Ivanov, no offense to him, but watching him speak, I'd rather stick things in my eye. No offense. This flows nicely. Now this part in the convention, this is where I found out also Dash, like I've said before, I love platforms. It really is, it's a payment platform. So let's listen in a little here.
It's a platform. We are building a platform. And upon this platform, we'll be delivering Evolution accounts. That'll be one of our products. Evolution-enabled wallets, another product. Merchant applications, Masternode applications, investment tools. Dash Core will be treated as a product. Dash Drive will be treated as a product. And the decentralized API will be treated as a product. I hope this paints a picture for where we're going, okay? And I hate to belabor this point, but I do want to be clear. This is a platform that we are building. These platforms are coming. Everybody's getting a platform, okay? This is important for all of us to understand. So, just as digital cash...
Okay, so you gotta watch maybe a little more to fully understand, but it's kind of saying like with the phone, with the apps, it's a platform. Anyways, they're building out it, so it's not just a coin. They're building out all these things so that you will have your accounts. Now, one of the things too is they really understand that this stuff needs to be easy. Okay, so they're we all love I've got my private key, this long number that you can't possibly remember, and you better not lose. They're developing a system where you're going to have your own username on the blockchain, and that's all you're going to need to use to send and receive payments. And so, username Dave Levine, I'm sending money to so-and-so. I'll just type in their username, and then they'll have in their thing a thing that says, money received from, like some of these user-friendly things they're working on up front. And so that was another, let me see here, some of this stuff. So the usernames, there's some password help, and they'll have a whole security thing. Like if you don't, they had a good thing where they talked about, there's a range of high security to highly easy to use, right? And you sort of have to sacrifice some security as you get closer to easy to use. and they're going to have a whole range, and you can sort of make your choice. Now, they're not going to make it so that, the really easy to use is unsecure. It's just, you understand the range is there, and they are going to have all those features. I just think that stuff is really important to make this so that regular human beings who don't want to sit in the computer, if I want to go buy something now with cryptocurrency, it's like it takes an hour and a half. I just, it's too convoluted, and that's my parents are not going to start using it until it's really simple. And then they have this Insta-Send feature. So that, because when you're in a store, their network's pretty fast, transaction, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Oh, that's great. But when you're checking out at Starbucks, 2 minutes is a long time. So they've got a feature where it'll be instant, and then it updates. That's one of the things that these master nodes do, and you can study the technicals on how all that works. But really pretty smart with a lot of the user-friendly features. Now I had another video. We looked at that. Shoot, I thought I had another video to show you. I'll put up the links of these videos. If you're into Dash, like I said, I would watch everything so you can really understand where it's all going. Now, not everything is perfectly positive, and there are some caveats. First caveat, just in general, prices are up high. If the Dash story is awesome, that doesn't mean that the coin couldn't fall in price by 50% tomorrow. So I want to buy in slow. I'm not going to just go crazy tomorrow buying this thing. But, the long-term story looks good. But it will take a while to grow. You saw the Bitcoin, they're only at 6,000 transactions a day. So if they grow by 6x, I was looking at this, if they grow by 600% a year, in 3 years, they're at the size of Bitcoin now. So, this thing's got to grow like wildfire in order to catch up. But I almost think it will. And it's also, I think Bitcoin transactions are a little bit, it's transactions, but it's just people trading, as opposed to having spending transactions, which Dash hopefully would have. If you start comparing spending transactions, they may be winning, and who knows. It's super small, it's super early. I just like the business model. That's one thing I've always sort of, been good at seeing, and also that's, if you can understand a business model and then look to the future and you see it growing, that's important. But in the long run, long run can be a long time. So who knows about the short run? Now, there were a couple other things. The other negative to me a little bit was, Dash was originally dark coin. They have this privacy feature, which is great, and I understand there's real uses for it, for other than criminal activity. But I think it started a little on the dark side, maybe. They've certainly converted away from anything that sounds, like they're trying to do money laundering. But then one of their marketing ideas that got funded is this guy Max Kaiser. And I've got this, I don't know what video this is, but let's take a look here. Max Kaiser. He's going to be traveling.
Right there. If you're a mortgage holder, I'm going to show you one simple trick.
Sorry.
Pay your home off in Kaiser with Stacy in Paris at the time in 2011.
Okay.
And we had John Matonis on.
This guy
who was big in cryptography, and he was big with the hash cash.
Anyways, this is a guy, Max Kaiser. You can look him up. He's pretty big with sort of general news, but he's been in on cryptocurrencies early. He was a fan of Dash, but I listened to him talk a little bit, and he's a little bit of the, we're going to bring down the government sort of, and the world's coming to an end, and this sort of, my thing, I think the view that has to work is that somehow, the United States is going to transition from the fiat central bank system to a digital currency system. How that transition happens, I'm not saying it won't be without battles and without, volatility, but that it's not, we're not bringing down the government and the government's evil and all this. I think that approach is just going to create extra volatility and make the whole process go a little slower. He's a little also on that side, which reminds me of the dark coin sort of like, the government's coming to get us and they're evil. Listen, the government is a pain in my ass all in business all the time, and I'm no government fan, but I also am a bit of a realist here, that they do some good, and the people who work there are trying their best with the system that they have, and this and that. And so I don't love the approach of black hat, or we're gonna bring them down. And he's a little got that negative conspiracy theory website mentality. I didn't watch a ton of him, so maybe I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this because I don't know that much about Max Kaiser. I didn't want to research him, but my first glance was like, and then right after I'm seeing Dark Coin, I'm like, I think they're trying to move away from that whole attitude, but it's still there. So I don't know. Another thing. I didn't finish watching the whole convention, but one thing my friend Crypto told me, his name is Omar, but is that they're trying to be big in Africa. I love that. I think Africa's got tremendous opportunities. I didn't see anything about that. I didn't finish the convention. Maybe it's in that. I don't know what they're trying to do in Africa. That would be interesting, but I didn't see any info on that. But Dash is out there everywhere, really pushing. It's like they have a sales team. What other coin has a sales team? I think that's good. Now the one other possible negative, I was like, well, what about the technology? These guys, they seem to have everything under control. What if the technology isn't that good? Now, obviously, it's good in that it's all working and it's fast. And one thing I always say is, it's easy to be fast when you only have 6,000 transactions. What happens if they have 400,000 transactions a day? Will they be, or 400,000 transactions a second? Is the technology that good? And, I don't see why I don't have any reason to believe it's not, but they don't have I'm not seeing, they don't seem to be as tech crazy as, Ethereum, where they get the brainiacs of the world working on stuff. I love this Jed McCaleb with Stellar Network. They came out with their proof of stake, and then he got somebody, I can't remember, from Stanford University, the head of something at Stanford University, something very respected, came out with a math proof on their proof of stake. And Dash is like, they work with University of Arizona. Sure, it's a wonderful school. I don't know that much about it, and I live here in California. I'm sure that people around the world are like, oh, they're with University of Arizona. That's I don't know. I would like to see sort of more high level. I'd love to see them get MIT Media Lab, to say, this works, or to research it. However, so I was feeling negative in that area, but I did see something that they do have. They're doing a big bug bounty right now with developers and people, and I started thinking, you know what? I wonder if that's actually more valuable. I'd rather have 1,000 crazy people try to find flaws in your system than have one math professor bless it. So, again, I think they have that under control, but I just, one thing I worry just in general, with all of these businesses, they're new, it's an experiment, and some things work great, and I know this with my business, something that works great when you're doing, with my business, when I was doing 100 orders a day, this is great, and then when we're doing 1,000 orders a day, that shit doesn't work anymore, and you need a whole new system. How scalable is their system? Now, they have the funding, they have the team, they're, the CEO, Ryan Taylor, I don't know a ton about his history. He looks like he's been successful, but he speaks well. I'm listening to him, and I'm like, yeah, good answers. He's got the vision. Love the team. And I had a video here. Let's see. Well, that was this part. Where was that thing?
This slide is illustrative of the network effects that we have happening within our ecosystem. And these are designed to be this way. We thought very carefully about the economics of our network, and the budget system is the one in blue here.
So you've got the money goes out, marketing to focus on the customer and developing things, which improves performance and delivery and transactions, which increases the budget, and it goes around and around. And they really have thought this through. Like I said, that is the key. I see it as an ecosystem. That was one of the original things that attracts people, I think, to Bitcoin is like, this thing is alive and it can't be killed. It has incentives in place to keep it going, and you can't kill it. I think Dash has the same thing, but maybe in a bigger way. And I was thinking I was going to show you one other clip. I wanted to show the CEO. Let's see if I can find him.
But people don't get to actually vote on, well, how does that money get spent? Where, what type of ad?
Okay, you'll have to watch the videos, but he's well spoken. On the third video of the convention, there were like 4 of them taking questions from the audience. All of it's super interesting. So, there was one more negative, I guess. It's only negative because I love on Ethereum. I own my Ethereum. I just put it on the blockchain, so I can't lose it. It's on the blockchain. And then I don't have to have a wallet. I don't have to save anything. I can just view it. I can view on the blockchain, view my coins through myetherwallet.com. I love that solution. They don't have that as far as I can find. You have to download a wallet, which I hate. My computer is going to crash, and then I got to do backups. Like, I don't even do backups anymore. Everything I have is on the Google Cloud. If my computer crashes, I get a new computer. The thing's running in 5 minutes. I have nothing on this computer other than some photos I downloaded that, but even that, the downloads, and then I use them for 2 days and then they're old. It doesn't matter. Everything's in the cloud. So I don't like to have to use my computer. My phone, that doesn't seem safe, keeping money on my phone, not only if somehow I lost it, but if someone got a hold of my phone and there's a lot of money on it, I don't like that. So then it seems the only option is to get this nano ledger, the little USB drive things. Now, people are always like, oh, those are awesome. Listen, if you're going to be user-friendly and have a real currency that works, you're not going to have to get some stupid USB that you have to plug in your computer to hold your money. And that's the only way to do it. So I hate that. I don't, but I ordered a Nano. That's where I'm going to store my Dash as I accumulate it. That seems to be the only option right now. Like I said, I prefer with Ethereum. It's sitting on the blockchain. And same thing, Stellar, Lumens, they're sitting on the Stellar network. And I can view it, but I don't have to do anything. And if my computer blows up and I lose my phone, it's still there, and I can still get it because I have my private. All I have to do is save my private key, and I can eventually get to it again if all technology blows up. So I don't love their storage at the moment. Hopefully, they'll make that a little easier in the future. And so that's my story. I have a new love. I hope Vitalik doesn't get jealous. But to me, those are very two different businesses. Ethereum's trying to be a general purpose computer for blockchain systems. And some of the applications people are building on that are payment processing. But Dash is 100% payment processing, but payment processing platform, really focused on it in a unique way. And I think the two could be winners. So I will be long-term accumulating both. Thank you.